Every parent knows the classics. Writing answers in your hand, sneaking papers in your pockets. But what if I told you that today's kids are using AI? They're using smartwatches and hidden apps to cheat in different ways that teachers aren't even catching. It is a digital arm race. And if you don't know the latest tricks, your child might already be one step ahead. I know for certain I was one step ahead of my parents when I cheated in school. Today, I'll walk you through exactly how kids are cheating at school. I'll include my own experiences, and I'll also give you a bonus tip at the end on how you can block AI and cheating apps before your child even gets the chance to use them. Welcome to the Parent Tech Support Show, where I empower parents with the tech knowledge they need to know to protect their kids online. My mission is to demystify parental controls, share practical tips, and reveal the tricks kids use so that you can navigate the online world with confidence. I'm your host, Jack Hughes, and because I grew up in this age of digital devices, I've had plenty of experience with getting around parental controls and doing things I wasn't supposed to. But those days are now over. Today I use all that inside knowledge to help parents, such as yourself, protect your kids online. Many parents may be familiar with writing answers on your hands or passing notes during tests, or maybe whispering the answers to a classmate in tests. I, in fact, used a lot of these tricks growing up. One of my favorite tricks was writing the answers or putting like a little piece of paper in my shoes on the insole. So during class, I would just take my insoles out and look at the tests or the answers during a test or something. But kids today are leveraging technologies in ways that are almost impossible to catch. I did a lot of this growing up as well. One of the ways that kids utilize technology to facilitate cheating in class is they use devices like a Bluetooth earbuds so that they can get the answers read to them during a test, or maybe someone will make a recording of them reading out an answer key and they'll have that on loop in their earbuds. I know some kids who would wear hoodies up with the earbuds in order to cheat in class using that method. Some kids will even go so far as to use a hidden camera in glasses to scan the questions and have them read to them. Now that's all really new technology, so that's not really been used a whole lot, the hidden camera ones in glasses at least. But I know one that has been used a lot because I used it growing up, and that is to have a smartwatch or like an Apple Watch with the answer key on the watch. So whenever I would take a Spanish test, for example, I would have the answer key or like a cheat sheet uploaded on my Apple Watch, and I would go to the cheat sheet on my watch and answer or cheat using my watch essentially with all the answer key when I would take tests or something. And it was really effective because it's just a simple watch. No one really thinks about a watch, and it's not like I have a phone. It's not like I have my insole out. And it's really effective, and it's easy to glance at it, or the teacher walks by, I just simply close down the app on the watch. So a lot of kids will use smartwatches or Apple Watches like I did growing up. Another app that I used a lot growing up, and this is apps that kids will use to cheat on school, not essentially have answer keys. I did a lot of online math courses growing up, so I would use an app called Photomath. And what Photomath is like a really, really advanced calculator, and allows you to take a photo essentially of a math equation, and it can instantly give you a step-to-step solution, or it'll just give you a solution. This app is pretty much a super powered calculator that will give full explanations. But unlike a normal calculator that you can get on any phone that can just do arithmetic, Photomath can do geometry, trigonometry, algebra, even calculus. And again, it's just a really simple plug and play. In fact, I have a few equations here that I wanted to show you how easy it is to use Photomath. The first equation I have here is 56 equals 5x plus 5 over 93. And so I just take my phone here. If you're on YouTube, you can see me do this. And I just scan the equation. I press this red button here, and it loads for a few seconds, and it spits out the equation. And so, or not the equation, it spits out the answer. And the answer to that random equation that I came up with was x equals 5,203 over 5. That also equals 1,040.6. So again, I had to scan this little equation here and it spat that out really quickly. And this is algebra. This is an algebra equation here. But I wanted to do some more complex work. So I have a function here, which is the function x equals 3 minus 5x minus 2x 2. I guess that would be 4x there. I don't know why I put that there. But I wanted to find the derivative of this function. So a little bit of trigonometry and calculus work here. So again, I'm just going to scan this function here. And it loads for about a second. And bam, it finds the derivative right here, which is the derivative of x is -9. At one point, I knew how to find the derivative to an equation, but now I don't. So I'm assuming that is correct. But that's just how easy it is for kids to use Photomath or other online algebra and calculus calculators. I remember growing up, I used this for, I want to say, 3 years during math. So all through my algebra and through my trigonometry courses. Then I got into calculus and wasn't able to cheat anymore. And then I was completely screwed over for like a full semester because I had to hurry up and learn trigonometry and learn algebra. And I barely made it out of that class alive. In fact, I believe I failed it, if I can remember correctly. But that's besides the point. You want to be aware of these apps that kids will use to cheat on math and whatnot. It's not just math. Now, with school and with cheating, you have AI to deal with. AI can now generate entire essays or solve word problems and even mimic writing styles to avoid detection. So, for example, I could have my 20 different essays that I can get, and I can give it to ChatGPT and tell it, okay, write me an essay using my style of writing. And it could write me an essay from a prompt. And then doing that method, it won't even be detected by AI detectors because it's copying my own style. And it's not just with writing, it's not just writing essays or maybe book reports. You can also use AI with math, with science. For example, I gave AI here for a little demonstration. I gave AI a complex word problem from physics. So the word problem that I gave ChatGPT in this case was, and I quote, "A car stands from rest and accelerates uniformly over a time of 5.21 seconds for a distance of 110 meters. Determine the acceleration of the car." So I gave that prompt to ChatGPT, and AI answered 8.10 meters per second squared, which is the correct answer to that word problem. And this is just super easy. It's really easy to copy paste this. I even pulled out my old physics textbook and I gave AI a bunch of questions and it was able to get all of them right with like 99% accuracy. Again, it's not just simple word problems with math and science. It's also English. Kids can copy and paste prompts, essay prompts into ChatGPT. They can tweak a few words to the essay that it gives them, and then they can turn that in. In fact, the script that I'm using for this video right here is mostly written by AI, or at least the outline. Of course, I added in my own stuff and I tweaked it a bit. There really is no limit to AI and how it can help students cheat in school. Teachers have started using, as I mentioned earlier, AI detection tools, but students are getting smarter and they're tweaking AI generated content. So they give AI a prompt to an essay and it makes the essay for them, and then they tweak it a bit, add their own flair to it, and that is enough to avoid detection. There's even some AI bots out there designed specifically to take AI generated content and then quote unquote humanize it so that it won't be detected. So you just make a essay via AI, you give it to this other bot, and then it humanizes that AI generated content, and then you turn it in. So it's just one extra step. Or again, people will just give ChatGPT all their previous essays and ask it to mimic their own writing patterns, which also will allow them to evade detection. Now, many schools also have remote virtual learning, and this makes cheating a whole lot easier. This is why it was so easy for me to cheat in school, because I had virtual learning, because I did a lot of stuff online. I was able to do I cheat my whole way through biology and cheat my whole way through chemistry. And I also had a lot of classes over Zoom, especially during the pandemic. And over Zoom, it was really easy for me to goof off. For example, I even turned down the Zoom call and kind of had it in my left ear, and then I would watch YouTube on my other monitor as my class was going on, as I was supposed to be participating in class, or I would play video games looking at my computer because the people thought I was still in class, but really I was just on YouTube or I was just playing video games on my computer. Really wasn't paying attention in class. And then when I was tested for the stuff I was supposed to be learning in class, then I would just use services like Quizlet to look up all the answers and cheat my way through those tests. Quizlet is a big thing that kids will use to cheat. It's actually very well known. Quizlet is a flashcard service that people will make flashcards to help you study for certain subjects or for certain courses. So let's say a school has a certain curriculum that they use. You could find a user-generated flashcard to help you study for that curriculum on Quizlet. So it's a really cool system. But a lot of kids will just write all the answers on Quizlet, and you can just use Quizlet to practically give you all the answers for that course. And I use that for my biology class and someone on my chemistry class, but no one really made a cheat sheet for me on Quizlet for my chemistry class. But that's besides the point. If you want to protect your child from using these methods, the bonus tip that I teach earlier, here's what you can do. You can block AI and Photomath apps using screen time. On your child's phone, you can find all the apps or Photomath apps. So you can go on their phone and you can find the Photomath app. Make sure you want to check the hidden apps location. In fact, that's something I cover in my newsletter on my website at parenttech.support. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get one of my guides on how to check for the hidden apps. Once you find that Photomath app or any other cheating apps, you want to delete it and then prevent them from just downloading that app again. And you can do that by going to settings, going to screen time, going to content and privacy restrictions, going into iTunes and App Store purchases, and toggling installing apps to do not allow. You also want to restrict the web browser so they can't just visit the websites, so they can't just visit a calculator online. So you can go to settings, go to screen time, go to content and privacy restrictions, go to App Store, go to media, web and games, then go to web content and toggle it to approved websites only. Small note that when you toggle it to approved websites only, this will block virtually every website on there. You might be able to block certain websites but allow all the other websites. If you want to learn more about that, again, you sign up for my newsletter. When you sign up for my newsletter, you'll also get a guide on the basics and how to use parental controls, especially in iPhones. So I highly recommend you doing that if you want to know more about this. And if there's one takeaway from today, from this podcast, is that cheating has evolved. And if you're not staying ahead of the technology, your kids could be using it to bypass school rules. But you're not powerless. If you can set the right restrictions, check their devices, and educate yourself on these trends. Again, for more tips, check out my newsletter. It's really a no-brainer. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share this podcast with other parents who want to foster healthier tech habits for their kids. And that's all for today. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week.